Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the world of One Piece to talk about wasted potential. With such a massive cast of characters, some didn't get the development or screen time they deserved. So in this video, we're counting down 10 One Piece characters who were totally wasted. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Tony Chopper. The Straw Hats Doctor once had the potential to be much more than just comic relief. With the power of the Hito, Nomi, and deep medical knowledge, he was originally introduced as a unique blend of combat ability and intelligence. His use of rumble balls showed promise for innovative battle tactics and growth. But over time, his role became more about being the cute mascot of the crew than a serious fighter. After the time skip, Chopper's design was changed to be even more adorable, affecting even his transformations. Once intimidating or cool, his forms now lean heavily into his cute factor. This shift has made it harder for fans and even other characters to take him seriously. While still beloved, he's mostly used for comic relief and emotional moments, rather than impactful battles or strategy. Usopp, one of the earliest members of the Straw Hat crew, this character has always stood out for his bravery despite being terrified of danger. He was often given a key role in battles, using his creativity and sharpshooting skills to overcome powerful enemies. However, since the crew entered the New World, his importance has noticeably declined. His moments of growth have become rare, with fewer chances to shine in major fights. In the Dressrosa arc, he showed potential with the development of observation haki, hinting at a more serious combat role. But in later arcs, he's mostly been relegated to comic relief or fighting low-level henchmen. Fans are still hopeful he'll finally have a big moment, especially in the long-anticipated Elbaf arc. A legendary weapon or heroic stand would bring his journey full circle. Brooke, the Straw Hats musician, brings humor and heart to the crew, especially with his skeleton jokes and obsession with panties. With the power of the Yomi no Mi, his return from death hinted at deep potential. While his early appearances, especially in Thriller Bark, gave him memorable moments, that momentum didn't carry forward. Since then, he's mostly stuck to background roles in battles. His combat contributions are often limited to support rather than spotlight. Most of his recent actions involve guarding teammates or filling comedic gaps. Although fans expect an emotional reunion with Laboon to be his true highlight, he deserves more in the meantime. A meaningful duel or an important mission would go a long way in honoring his place in the crew. He has the charisma and skills. He just needs a chance to shine again. Esus Kid. As one of Luffy's main rivals from the Worst Generation, this pirate had all the makings of a major contender for the One Piece. His Jiki no Mi grants him control over magnetism, opening the door for creative combat strategies. Yet his use of the fruit often feels underwhelming, reduced mostly to forming a giant metal arm. Given his ambition and strength, fans expected a more innovative and devastating application of his powers. His biggest moment came during the fight against Big Mom, but even that felt somewhat hollow. The impact could have been far greater if the manga had fully explored his backstory rather than condensing it into an SBS. As a result, his motivations and depth were never truly felt. For a character meant to rival Luffy, his journey lacked the emotional weight and development it deserved. King, as Kaido's right-hand man and the last known survivor of the Lunarian race, this character had incredible narrative potential. His heritage is deeply connected to ancient lore, particularly the legend of Joy Boy, making him a key figure in the Wano saga. It was after hearing stories from him that Kaido began searching for the one destined to defeat him. This connection alone should have made King a central figure in uncovering the past. Oda typically dives deep into major mysteries through rich storytelling and flashbacks. We saw that with Neptune explaining Noah, the Minx sharing the history of the poneglyphs, and Sukiyaki detailing Wano's secrets. But King's ties to Joy Boy were brushed over in a casual conversation. For such an important thread, the lack of depth was a missed opportunity to expand both his character and the lore. Kaido, feared across the world as the strongest creature alive, This former Yonko was built up as one of the most terrifying threats in One Piece. His presence alone demanded awe, and fans expected nothing less than a monumental final boss. In terms of raw power, he delivered, defeating Luffy multiple times before the debut of Gear 5. That alone established him as a nearly unbeatable force in the New World. Despite his dominance in battle, his backstory fell short of expectations. It was presented too quickly, missing the emotional and narrative weight that made other villains like Big Mom and Doflamingo so compelling. Those characters had deeply rooted motivations and personal struggles that made them unforgettable. Kaido, by contrast, felt more like an obstacle than a fully fleshed-out antagonist. Big Mom. Charlotte Lynland built her legacy as a Yonko alongside Kaido, standing as one of the most dangerous pirates in the world. Her strength came from an overwhelming mix of abilities: an incredibly powerful devil fruit, advanced haki, nearly impenetrable skin, and unmatched physical power. She had all the tools needed to be the final boss of her own arc. On paper, she was unstoppable and fascinating. Yet her role in the story often felt secondary. In Whole Cake Island, the focus was more on rescuing Sanji than on her as a villain. By the time Wano arrived, she served more as backup to Kaido than a threat in her own right. Her backstory also left strange gaps, especially around the fate of Mother Carmel. The implied act of cannibalism was unusually dark, even by One Piece standards, and left fans confused rather than intrigued. Marco. Once the first division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, this character stood tall as one of the strongest and most respected figures in the old era. After Blackbeard crushed the remnants of their crew, he chose to live a quieter life in Sphinx, serving as both protector and doctor of Whitebeard's homeland. Despite his legendary status, his role in the current era has been surprisingly low profile. His strength and healing abilities remained underutilized for a long time. When he returned in Wano to support the Straw Hats, fans hoped for a massive comeback. But his presence during the war didn't leave much of a lasting impact. While others like the Red Scabbards, Law, and Kid took down major threats, he mostly played support. He held back enemies briefly or healed wounded allies, but never had a defining moment. For a former Yonko commander, it felt like a missed opportunity. Aramaki. As one of the new admirals of the Marines, Aramaki, or Ryakudu Green Bull, was introduced as a major force capable of shaking the world. Like his predecessors, an admiral's appearance usually signals chaos and destruction. Early on, Aramaki showcased his strength by easily defeating King and Queen, as well as immobilizing the Red Scabbards during the Wano arc. His powers seemed undeniable, making him a formidable new threat. However, his reputation took a massive hit when he was humiliated by Shanks. Despite his earlier displays of dominance, Aramaki's defeat at the hands of the red-haired pirate made him appear weak and ineffective. Instead of cementing him as a powerful new adversary, he was left as a joke in the eyes of many fans, with Shanks' overwhelming haki overshadowing his potential. This moment drastically changed how he was perceived, undermining his strength. Shimatsuki Ushimaru. Ushimaru was the daimyo of Ringo and one of the last samurais to stand against Kaido and Orochi. Throughout the Wano arc, Oda dropped numerous hints that Ushimaru might be connected to Zoro, but this potential link was never fully confirmed in the main storyline. The author chose to leave this reveal out of the narrative, as exploring it in depth would have taken up too much time on screen. Had the Shimatsuki family history been properly explored in Wano, it would have been a game-changer for Zoro fans. The revelation that Ushimaru was Zoro's great-uncle could have been a powerful emotional moment. However, with so many plot lines to resolve in the final saga, Oda decided to save this connection for an SBS, leaving fans to imagine what could have been. That's it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts on these overlooked characters in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.